We find that the industrial section seems one grand commercial, for it is the major commercial companies of the United States displaying their wares. But in many cases, the displaying of these wares is only a small portion of the exhibits financed by these companies. A good example is the Singer Bowl, a stadium backed up by the Singer Sewing Machine Company. Here, during the fair months, various exhibitions and contests are held, from Golden Gloves boxing to high school drum majorette meets. The Better Living Center is an example of a multiple exhibit. That is, exhibits by a number of smaller concerns who do not go into the expense of building their own pavilions. The top floor has a Hilton-operated rooftop restaurant, one of the many restaurants of all types, sizes, and price ranges found throughout the grounds. The bubble tops you see in the distance cover souvenir and snack stands operated by the brass rail people. And it is from here we get our first general view of the grounds, and our first idea of the time we'll have covering these grounds. To the right of Continental Insurance is a Hertz booth, where they will put you in the driver's seat, providing you fit, the seat in this case being a car-shaped baby stroller. In the background is the Bell Telephone Pavilion and the Traveler's Insurance umbrella. One of the exhibits inside the Better Living Pavilion is a complete home with all the furnishings. It is billed as a 7-room dream home, fitted out with a latticed wood and modern materials. They tell me that this is the smallest grand piano in the world. Any smaller than this, it's not considered grand, I guess. What more natural location than the kitchen could you find the controls for the built-in hi-fi system, with music pipe tuned to all the rooms, rare or well done, your choice. One of the most striking exhibits in this pavilion is this model railroad, complete with cities, towns, countryside, factories, desert, and even an erupting volcano. Even the trolley coaches were operational. In the Bell Telephone Pavilion, you sit in a chair on a moving belt with your own personal speaker system, which takes you past a sequence of various animated tridimensional scenes depicting the history of communications. At the completion of the writing part of the presentation, further exhibits are presented on what is communication and of the future of the telephone. These include many live demonstrations, such as this of the dataphone.
When actually it's going down in pitch. The best way to demonstrate this is by singing. So I'll sing Happy Birthday, first directly, and then over the vocoder. When you hear it over the vocoder, the notes will be inverted. The high notes will be low notes, and the low notes will be high notes. I'm not the world's best singer, but you'll get the idea. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. And now over the vocoder, it's beautiful this way. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you.
Incidentally, we find that all phones at the fair are something out of the future. Every phone, including public, are push-button. Not an old-fashioned dial phone is to be found. Want to type a letter back home? Stop in at IBM and use one of their fancy electric typewriters. You can't even type so it comes out like handwritten script, if you like.
Lowest reading is an enlargement of one of those numbers. If you look closely, you'll see the actual...
IBM's main attraction is the people wall. Look closely in the upper left-hand corner and you will see a man standing on a sort of pedestal in the air. He will make a few preliminary comments. Then, as he disappears in the roof, the whole stand of people is lifted hydraulically into this. This is the information machine, where the similarity of methods that are used by the human mind and computers to solve problems is described in a 12-minute show full of visible and audible surprises. The world's largest transparencies would be found, of course, at no other than Kodak. 5 different pictures, 30 by 36 feet, are mounted on a tower 80 feet high, which can be seen from most points of the fair. The idea here, according to Kodak, is you are supposed to be able to take a picture here of your friends standing on the surface of the moon. Somebody's idea of the surface of the moon, it looks like. Now all you have to do is find Aunt Martha or Cousin John in the crowd. By the way, if you have any problems or questions regarding picture taking at the fair, there are people here at the Kodak Pavilion ready and willing to answer any questions and to give assistance. Ferry boat for Kowloon. Well, here the wait would be a bit more than 15 minutes, for this is only one of the scenes in the exhibit presented by Coca-Cola. The sounds here were recorded in this exhibit. Several realistic scenes depict various exotic places around the world in this 15-minute walk through pavilion. A serene Indian garden with the Taj Mahal in the background. Notice the Coca-Cola sign in this Bavarian ski lodge. The idea is to show the various out-of-the-way places where Coke can be bought. But there is no question of the authenticity of the scenes presented here. As you lean on a rail to view the Matterhorn, you find the rail cold from the high mountain air. Pepsi-Cola is teamed with UNICEF and Walt Disney to take you on an 8-minute boat ride through miniature settings from many countries, where Disney made figures of children, animals, and birds sing and dance. In the foreground is the Tower of the Four Winds. Just outside the exhibit, the kids also get a break as various Disney characters come to life. Where Coke and Pepsi take you around the world, 7-Up brings the world to you in form of an international sandwich shop. Here you can purchase typical sandwich plates from the various continents, and get all the 7-Up to drink you want. Entertainment is even in the continental manner. For more adult refreshment, the 200-year-old Schaefer Brewing Company, consisting of a restaurant roofed over with air-filled plastic discs and a beer garden with a 100-foot-long bar should be the answer. The exhibitor claims this to be the longest bar in the world. It sure seems one of the busiest. In the Traveler's Insurance Pavilion, the triumph of man is presented in dioramas which trace history from the invention of tools.
This is man's nature. Where there is truth, he must find. Where there is danger, he must overcome. Where there is destruction, he must rebuild. Where there is love, he must protect. This is the triumph of man.
To Be Alive, a 21-minute, 3-projector, 3-screen stereophonic sound movie showing the daily lives of people around the world is shown at the Johnson's Wax Pavilion. At DuPont, a musical reveal presents a lively history of chemistry. There are also demonstrations of chemical wizardry. These are presented in a way that indicates the exhibitors realize the audience is composed of intelligent people and are quite exciting. If you spot your kids on the screen of one of the television sets scattered throughout the fair, that means you can find them at the RCA Pavilion waiting for their lost parents. A complete studio is located here, and fairgoers can watch a program in the making. At General Electric, the marvels of electricity in the past, present, and future are presented on 4 stages, which stand still while the theater revolves around them. It is difficult to remember that the figures on the stages are only animated and not live. Another Walt Disney work of art. Even the post office gets into the exhibit act, with various typical mailboxes of different countries shown. Inside, a working ultra-modern sorting center is open for public viewing. A sphere of unity, a sphere of peace through understanding. Surely a contributing factor towards this goal is in the area of free commercial enterprise and the distribution of the products of this enterprise throughout the world. Then there is the subject of transportation, the moving of goods and people from one part of the globe to another.